global master life coach and elite executive coach. She dedicated her career to empower individuals worldwide to unlock their true potential and turn their dreams into reality, of course. Her influence extends beyond coaching. Since 2015, she has been training the next generation of life coaches. Her innovative Centrella method is designed to help individuals manifest their goals, transform their perspectives, and craft a life they truly want. Everybody, please welcome Sarah Centrella! Woo!
Thank you so much for having me, and I can definitely feel the energy in this room. It's pretty incredible to see what women can do. Am I right? Like, we really, really are the change makers. Has anyone ever had a bad day? No one's had a bad day? Oh my God. If you've never had a bad day, then here we go. A text message blew up my entire life. It was 2008, and it was a normal day. I was married to my high school sweetheart. We had been together for 16 years. I had spent the whole day home with my twins because I was a stay-at-home mom, and they were about a year old, so, covered in a little spit up, making the baby food, cooking dinner. My 5-year-old son was, doing what 5-year-old sons do. And that day, as I was folding laundry, I was watching the Oprah show. It was kind of my tradition. And it felt like the most ordinary day you can ever imagine. My husband came home from work like he always did. He sat down for dinner, home-cooked meal like he always did. And when he went in to take a shower after dinner, I had this thought. Ladies, do you believe in women's intuition? Yes? So I'd been watching the Oprah show, remember, earlier in the day, and the topic of the show was how to know if your spouse is cheating. And I was like, I don't need that shit. My husband would never do that. I had never in my life had the thought. I had never in my life had that moment of intuition. But there was this split second when my whole body went cold, and I thought, wasn't one of those topics, where is his phone? And I thought, you know what? I don't know the last time I've seen this man's phone. Is that weird? They usually charge side by side on the counter. The second I had that thought, I knew. Women's intuition. I hope you've never been there, ladies. I hope to God you've never been there. But if you have, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I knew what I would find, and I knew who it would be from. And so I went, put a movie on for my 5-year-old son in the farthest room from the shower, put my twins in their crib, went into the shower. His phone was hiding in the clothes he was about to put on. I was like, oh, here we go. I opened up the phone, and an unread text message said, I can't wait till you're finally free. All mine, no more sharing. Smiley face. I went in, turned the water off on his shower, and said, get the fuck out. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I was going to survive. But I knew that was not going to be okay with me. He got out of the shower. He put on his clothes, soaking wet still covered in soap, not even trying to, save himself at that moment. He simply went in, kissed our kids goodbye, threw his wedding ring at me, and walked out the door. My life as I knew it, everything I ever knew about my life, since I was 16 years old, blew up in a matter of 10 minutes. That might seem to be an exaggeration, but I promise you it is not. I filed for divorce a couple days later, but that night, I remember and the kids were asleep, laying on the hardwood floors of our crappy little rental house. We had lost our home in foreclosure the year before. That was the housing crisis. We had to file bankruptcy after the twins were born. I literally had nothing. I'd been a stay-at-home mom for the past several years, hadn't worked. Everything that we had was in my husband's name, the car, the bank accounts, everything. I didn't have $5 to my name. And I just remember laying on the floor, face stuck to the wood because I'd been crying for so long and so dehydrated. And as we do, ladies, I had been trying to think of how to solve this problem. Even laying on the floor, I was just like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get a job? Where are the kids going to go to daycare? Like, going through all of these options, and every one I was running through just seemed impossible. Now remember, this was 2008, and back then, there was really no social media. So the people that we knew were people that we actually knew in real life. Remember that? Some of you are probably a little bit too young to remember the olden days like that. But this was true. I probably knew 50 people in my whole life, right? And not one of them had ever been through anything like this. That's crazy, but I actually did not know one person who had gone through a divorce back then, which is mind-blowing, right? So of course, I'm laying on the floor thinking, I am the only woman ever in the history of the world to go through something like this, and I don't know what to do tomorrow. I don't know how to get up off this floor. And nothing that I'm trying to think of to solve this is going to work, and I just kept on saying, I can't do this. I can't do this, I can't do this. And in that moment, you can call it God, you can call it the universe, you can call it your inner voice, whatever you want to call it. As clear as day, a voice came back to me and said, what if you can? What if you can? So, I got up the next day, sold everything that we owned on Craigslist, went and tried to find a job, and this was our first little apartment, me with my 3 kids, 700 square foot apartment. I was honestly so happy and so grateful to be able to have it, right? But then I started thinking, okay, well, since I have to reinvent my life completely, remember, I met this man at 16. I had no dreams in life that didn't involve him. So as I'm sitting there thinking, what does the future look like? I'm going to have to reinvent that completely. And if I have to start from scratch, why don't I make it better? You with me? Anyone ever want something better than what you have? And I thought, I have nothing to lose, right? I'd already lost everything there was. I didn't even have any pride left. So I was like, screw it. I am going to shoot for the stars. And that motto, what if I can, just stuck to me. It became this life raft that I began to apply to really everything in my life. I thought, well, if I could, what would that look like? So I'm going to share a little hack with you really quickly. We are really good at using those first 2 words, what if, to tear ourselves down and to shut down our dreams. Yes? Anybody? Because what do? We say, what if that fails? What if I'm not good at it? What if nobody comes to the thing I want to do? What if everyone else is better? But here's the hack. All you have to do is turn that around. Turn that sentence around and say, what if I succeed? What if it works? What if everyone is there? What if people show up for me? That starts to open up a path for how that's actually going to look and what you can do about it. And that is the definition, to me, of being empowered, when I know there's something that I can do about it. And so I began to dream. And this was my very, very first future board back in 2009. I had no idea what I was doing. I just remembered I had seen an Oprah show once that talked about vision boards. And so in this kind of first dark couple months after my separation and divorce, and I started dreaming about what the future was, I started thinking in terms of, who do I want to be? What does success look like for me? What type of mom am I going to be now that I'm a single mom? It's a very different situation. And so as I did those, I started creating all these daydreams around that. Well, it would look like this. It would feel like this. This is what I would do. So one day I printed out all these pictures, just went online, started searching for the visions that I was already creating in my mind, and found the images for them, and just put it at the cube at my desk when I finally got my first job. And every single day, I was in corporate sales, and I was in inside sales. Anyone ever been in sales? It can suck, yeah? There is a lot of rejection on a daily basis. So, of course, I was getting all that beautiful rejection on the phone. But as I was on the phone, I was dreaming about all these things because it was right in front of me. I never thought in a million years it would make any difference in my life. Never. I just thought they make me feel better, and it's cute to look at. So who's it hurting, right? Little did I know that I was actually starting to create my future. Who believes in manifesting? On hands. Look at that. Okay. I didn't. I was like, that is some horse, you know what. So I was like, okay, even if I don't believe in it, it's not going to hurt anybody by dreaming of something bigger. It's not going to hurt anybody by getting clear about what I want. I can't control the timing anyway, so might as well go for it. And it was about a year and a half or so, about 18 months, after the worst day that I had ever experienced, where I manifested my first big thing. Again, no idea this was ever going to happen. And it was a business trip to New York with my new job. And it was all expenses paid for a week in New York on the company Amex. And this picture was taken there. And I just remember being on the flight back going, wait a second, I put that picture on my board before I ever had this job. So I think I might have had something to do with how this happened. And that set me out on a mission to figure out how I did it and how other people could do it too, and how I could just rinse and repeat so that I could change my life and provide a beautiful life for my children. And since that time, that was 2008, 2009, I have manifested, God, probably way more than this at this point. The most, I think, impressive thing that I have manifested is a new life over and over and over again. Not just one iteration of an upgrade, but countless. 3 book deals. I've taken my kids at this point to 7 countries. Own 2 companies. Kind of the list goes on. Thank you. But one of the things I'm most proud of manifesting is that I actually, my son is probably my first client, I would say, at about 5 or 6. I started teaching him all this stuff that I was learning and started taking him to Oregon football games. I don't know if there's any football fans in here. I might be in the wrong room for this, but when he was about 6 years old, I started taking him to games in Oregon. I'm from Oregon. And I told him, I said, we're going to dream. We're going to dream really big. And if this is what you want to do someday, you can do it. And ladies, he has a game tonight. He plays for Oregon football. They are the #1 football in the country. Thank you very much. And this is the first game I've missed. But I wanted to be here with all of you. I wanted to learn from all of you. And it is incredible to not only change your own life, but if I have any moms in the audience, any moms, it's pretty cool to teach your child something that can change the trajectory of their life, right? Okay, so anybody here want to learn how I did it? Okay. So I love that y'all are already up for manifesting because I'm just going to dive in. I'm going to give you some of the coaching that I give my clients. And this is stuff that you can walk out of this room today and apply to your life, and you're going to get some really awesome results. And I'm going to go through each one of these in a little bit more detail, but the 3 tips I want to share with you, you got to know what you want, you got to change your thinking in order to change your future. And I had a great setup for that with our first speaker. She did an amazing job. She's so dead on about all of that mindset that she was talking about. And then, of course, you got to make your future board, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about What do you want? Who in this room has ever struggled with knowing what is next or knowing what you want? It's kind of a harder question, right? It's a little harder question than we give it credit for. And here's the thing, our whole lives, from the time we're probably 5 to the time we're about 30, everyone around us are asking us, what do you want? Where do you want to go to school? Where do you want to go to college? What do you want to major in? What do you want to do for work? Do you want to get married? What happens after 35? Why isn't anyone asking us anymore? No one asks us anymore, who are you becoming? Who do you want to be? What are you building? What are you working on? What is the next level of your success? Right? They just stop. But we can't stop, because when we do, we have a midlife crisis. Or know someone who does, right? And so knowing what you want is the absolute baseline of getting any change in your life. So this is step 1 of my 9-step method that I teach. It's called Dream It, and it's all about looking into the future. So you guys can do this. If you have a notepad, go ahead. I'll give you the exact thing to do. You look into the future about 5 years, and you just imagine yourself. Put on that 5 years of age, ladies. Add that to your kids, 5 years, because your life changes. And we don't really think about that a lot. But if I'm not intentionally creating my future, then I'm just allowing today to play over and over and over again. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound all that exciting. I want something new. I want to create new once-in-a-lifetime experiences all the time. So think about, what do I want? Why do I want it? Most importantly, what is its impact going to be on my life? How is it going to change my family's life? When I was doing all that dreaming, I was not just dreaming about myself. I was dreaming about what it would be like to watch my kids swim with dolphins, or to, be in the Colosseum in Rome. I wanted to know what the impact of my success would be in real life on the people that I loved. So why does it matter to you? Whatever this future is that you want, why does it matter to you? And you can write what I call a day in the life story, and just imagine that 5 years out, write it out as a narrative, and just say, this is what it looks like, this is who's in my life, this is how I feel, and this is the woman I am. All of that will start to create those outcomes for you. And I want you to then ask yourself, what if I can? What if I can make it happen? What if I can create that company that is going to change not just my life, but it provides for other women maybe? Maybe it supports my community. What if I wrote that book and it changed people's lives? What if I did that thing that I've always had in the back of my mind, but was always a little bit afraid to do? What if I can? All right, and then number 2, change our thoughts. And like I said, I could not have agreed more with everything that our first speaker said, because it is so true. Those mottos and affirmations are the fastest and easiest way that you can change your belief system about anything. You can rewrite the programming in your head, and as soon as you do, your reality begins to line up with it, which is crazy when you think about it. We're so powerful. So you want to start to teach yourself how to focus on, what do I want? Not what do I not want? Not who's annoying me today. Not all the frustrating things that are happening in my day-to-day life. But I actually want to be a visionary. I want to think about the future. And the more times that I am substituting the thoughts of what is happening today and changing those with what I want, the faster I'm drawing it into my reality. So this step is step 3 in my 9-step method. It is the most powerful thing by far that I teach. It will absolutely transform your life so quickly, too. If you can really master your thoughts, you can truly create anything that you want. So here's a couple quick ones. Mottos, like I said, and I am statements, two of the fastest track ways to get anything that you want. So you start telling yourself that you are the person you want to be, the thing you want, and the more that you do that, the more that your belief system begins to change. So one of the things that I always give my clients to do is to write out 25 positive I am statements. Grab a picture of this or write this down, because if you do this tonight, I am telling you, if you can say those to yourself twice a day, every day while you're looking in the mirror for 30 days, you will begin your transformation. We're talking 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day could create the next version of yourself. Or you could just do what you do every day, right? So becoming very intentional about what you want and then training your mindset to back it up is absolutely key. I have this tool called mental tennis. It's pretty simple. It's really when a negative thought comes at you, this is about anything in your life. We all have, anyone have negative thoughts? If you don't all raise your hand right now. Lying. No, just kidding. We all have them, right? We all have, can I say bad words? Okay. I call her a nasty bitch. She sits on my shoulder, and she can be so mean. Does anyone have one? She's rude, man. She's so mean. She tells me the worst possible things about myself. So I had to name her something really bad, too. And so as I'm hearing whatever it is that critic is saying in my head, all I actually have to do is turn that sentence around. 9 times out of 10, that is actually going to be what I want instead. So if she's saying, you're going to bomb today, no one's going to like your talk, I'm saying, I'm getting better every day. I'm going to touch one person in this room. I am learning, I am growing, I am getting better. I am here to serve, right? And all of those help you show up and pour in. But if I'm only listening to the negative, how can I bring positive energy to a room like this? I can't, right? So super simple, just reverse it. Just reverse that negative thought. All right, and then our last one is to make a future board like I did. And I have a very kind of method for this for sure. My book, Future Boards, you can get it anywhere, was the #1 book in transformation when it came out in 2019. And it will teach you step by step how to build an authentic future board. It is not a vision board. It is not a vision board. It is not a vision board. It is very, very intentional. It is a custom created future life. And it will absolutely manifest. A couple just quick notes. You can take a picture of that because I know I'm running out of time. But we use Pinterest. We don't use old school magazines because no one in Vanity Fair knows what my future life looks like. Am I right? And then we touch on the 5 core categories of our life. That's also very important. It has to be a holistic look at your future life. This is also a visual board, so no quotes, no words. Really think about what you want. Okay, oh, I did it in time. I was so impressed with myself. Okay, so ladies, I actually just checked the QR code this morning and it's having issues, but if you go to sarahcentrella.com, I put it as a pop-up. So you'll get this free course. It has all of my deep coaching on this. I have it for free. Go to sarahcentrella.com and it'll pop up the free gift for you for today because the scanning code isn't working. Thank you all very much.
Yes, let's show some love for Sarah Centrella. Wait a second. We have questions for you. Of course, we have a whole room of
bring in
women.
the question.
Any questions, ladies? Any questions? We have a question. Excellent.
What's a good tip if you're really good at manifesting and you feel like blocked for? Do you have anything like good to like reset or?
Ooh, that's a great one. So blocks are super common. We all have them. And whenever you're manifesting what you want, so by the time you've got to the place where you're manifesting it, you've removed the blocks to that dream. You've probably had the dream for maybe a couple years by that time, depending on timeline. So to push yourself to the next version It's really about what is a bigger and better version. Can I dream bigger than I did last time? And when those blocks start coming up, that's when you want to do mental tennis. Because the blocks, remember, they're going to come sounding like your inner critic. They really are. They tell you what is blocking you. If you listen to the thoughts going on in your head, it will say, oh, you can't do this because, or you don't have the timing, or you don't have the experience, or you don't have the budget. And so all we have to do is use those mottos, affirmations, use the mental tennis, and it will push us right through that so that the belief will change. Great question.
We all have learned this new phrase, mental tennis. This is amazing. Sarah Centrella, everybody.